about technology. The crazy part about this is glad I jumped on the call, because this is Dana and Rob's show, but clearly we will get through this technical challenge. First of all, to the many people that have taken the time to join us on this beautiful sunny evening. I know in Peterborough here, it's about 35 degrees, and what a great way to spend the evening, and you're spending it with us. So for all of those of you that may have already booked onto this wonderful charter, thank you so much for supporting us over this past 2.5 years, and obviously through our very extensive decades of family business. And for those of you that are joining us today to see what great opportunities we have, it's wonderful that we've been able to bring Tracy Daniels on board, and she will be sharing firsthand experience of the exact cruise that you will be joining Rob and Dana with. So I'm going to just say another thank you to everybody, and I'm going to turn it over to Rob and allow him to facilitate the remainder of the evening.
Very good. Thank you very much, Scott. And again, I'd like to also welcome everyone who's taken the time to join us this evening. And hopefully, maybe you're sitting by your swimming pool or having a cocktail on your porch in this beautiful weather to give you that feeling of, you know, the south of France, drinking some wine and relaxing. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome you all for joining us tonight. And I'm going to let Tracy do most of the talking, because she's got the first-hand experience just recently, so I'm sure she's really pumped to tell us all about it. I'm excited to hear about it. And so I'm just going to introduce Tracy Daniels, who's with Emerald Cruises. She's our business development manager for, I don't know, the whole world or something, Tracy, or Canada or something. But so Tracy's been instrumental in helping us put this whole package together, and I'm really excited to introduce her, and I'll let her take over, and then Dana's gonna pipe in at the end. You've got some goodies to talk about at the end about our pre and post cruise packages, which are also very exciting. So make sure you stay on and listen to Dana afterwards. Take it away, Tracy.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to just close my video here so that everybody will be able to see my lovely screen here. Just give me 1 second. Look at that. There we go. So I'm just going to hide my video. All right. So anyways, thank you everyone here for joining us. Like they all said, I hope you have your cocktail in hand. My backdrop was the sun deck of the beautiful Emerald Liberté. Yes, as they mentioned, I had the wonderful opportunity to sail in just in April. So just a little bit, just slightly over a month ago that I was over there. So April was a fantastic time to be over there. Beautiful crisp mornings, beautiful afternoons. But the hard part, of course, was sharing how wonderful the weather was in the south of France with everyone back here in Ontario who unfortunately had some snow to deal with during that time. So, you know, it's a great climate over there in the south of France. So April was a perfect time to travel. So I'm actually excited to share. I've got some pictures that I took on my trip that I'll show you here in a moment. But I thought I'll start off just with, for those of you that aren't familiar with who Emerald Cruises are, just kind of give you a bit of some of the features so that you can learn a little bit more about the brand. So first off, we are part of the Scenic family. So Emerald Cruises came into play in 2014, and we are known for our Emerald Exceptional Value. And you can see the awards there on the screen. So we're really proud that for a record 5 years since the company launched, that we won the award for Best River Cruise Line for Value. And again, it's with the inclusions that we have here that I'll talk about. And with this value, and I'll share with you the tours, some that I went on, as well as some of the other opportunities that you can have. So you can kind of tailor-made it to your traveling preferences, which is great. So at every port, we have an included excursion. So those are always, they take place in the morning. But you'll see we got our Emerald active activities. So on board our Emerald fleet, we have an activity manager. So they're an added additional team member in addition to our wonderful cruise director. But the activity manager will do both on-board activities, such as they did some Pilates and stretching classes up on the sun deck. We have a wonderful indoor heated pool on board. So they would do some aquafit classes as well as doing some stretching classes in there. So a wide range of those type of activities, but also on shore, we also have several included Emerald active activities. So we'll have some different guided bike tours, as well as some guided hikes. And I did one of those guided hikes, and I'll share with you some pictures from that. But also sailing with us, of course, all your meals are included. And we have a special treat on our South of France with one of the dinners that I'll highlight here in a moment. But your beverages, you will have complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks included at lunch and dinner. So that's looked after for you as well. And then we have our Emerald Plus experiences. So these are both on board and on shore. So it kind of ties into the local culture as well. And then, of course, everything taken care of. Your gratuities are all looked after, your airport transfers, and our wonderful team is available to take care of everything. So again, of course, with river cruising, a lot of great value with all the inclusions that you have, from all your meals to all the different type of excursions. We've got complimentary Wi-Fi on board. We have, you'll receive your own refillable water bottle. We've eliminated all plastics on board, so you'll receive your own water bottle. We have a water station that you can refill it in the lounge with still or sparkling water. And again, your transfers, your tips, everything is all taken care of. So very relaxing way to sail in the south of France. So again, as I mentioned, we have bikes on board. So when we're not doing a guided bike tour, you're free to take those out on your own. I took, I've got a picture of me. I took a bike out in Lyon. There's so many bike paths around the riverbank. So it's a great way to get out and explore in some of the free time that you have. We also have some optional Discover More experiences. So these aren't offered in every location. These are in addition to the included excursion that you have at every port. But some of the ports were there for a little bit longer. So we offer some optional extra excursions for a fee. However, you may want to go off and take one of our bikes, like I did, for instance, or just kind of walk in and explore into town. So the nice thing, the itineraries are built with a lot of flexibility so that you can tailor your cruise to your preferences. So this is a picture that I took actually on board last month. We've got this wonderful indoor heated pool area at the aft of the ship. So again, nice quiet area. You can see the comfortable chairs there. So you'll find people like to just relax, do a little crossword, read a book in this area in the afternoon, or, you know, take a dip. On hot days, there is a retractable roof, so that roof can open as well. And then there's also a complimentary coffee and tea station there that you can help yourself to any time of day as well. So this is just a really nice area there to relax. Of course, up top on the sun deck, we've got lots of great seating and shaded areas, but we've also got this little putting green. So while I was on board, I was sitting in my balcony cabin one day and I could hear all these cheers and everything going on, and I'm wondering what is going on. Well, we had a crazy golf tournament up on the sun deck, and it was well attended, and it was quite a lively event. So you know, lots of fun activities that they'll do as well throughout the cruise. But there you can see lots of great different seating there, walking tracks so you can get your steps in while you're enjoying the scenery there as well. So a great spot there to enjoy. When it comes to dining, lots of options as well to choose from. So this terrace area here is at the front of the ship in front of the lounge. So we'll serve an early riser's breakfast here. We'll also serve a light lunch. So it's a great alternative. They'll have soups, sandwiches, salads up there. So it's a nice alternative to the Reflections restaurant. If you want some variety, something a little bit lighter than the restaurant. So again, great option there. Also on some afternoons, we'll do a high tea. So they'll have some sweet treats and some wraps and tea service. That'll be right here in the terrace. And then outside there, you'll see the chairs there. So again, great area there as well to relax and enjoy, and front row seats for the locks that you sail through as well. And as I mentioned, Reflections Restaurant is the main dining room where you can have lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Again, open seating, lots of different table configurations from 2 guests to 8 guests. So again, great variety, but again, a lot of local dishes, which is wonderful. So you'll definitely get a good taste for the French cuisine while you're sailing in the south of France. And of course, we've got the complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks, so you'll get to taste and sample a lot of different wines throughout your cruise. And of course, wonderful cuisine that we have, but we also have our Emerald standards. So again, on the menu that you'll see every night, you'll always be able to order a steak, chicken breast, Caesar salad. So they'll always have the Emerald standards as well. So again, a lot of choices that you'll have dining. And of course, the wonderful selection of wines. And of course, our crew definitely are fabulous. And it's wonderful to see how they become like family by the end of the cruise. I was this was my third Emerald cruise that I was on, and it was great to see some familiar faces that I've met on other cruises. So it's kind of like a nice reunion, but such wonderful staff. This area on the ship was probably the least populated area on the ship. The fitness room. So we have a fitness room there that has bikes and a treadmill if you're interested in keeping up your regimen. But we also have a spa on board. So here's a nice area there that you can treat yourself to a spa treatment. These can be booked on board for an additional fee. So a nice way to kind of relax. And then taking a look at our beautiful staterooms that you have to choose from. So again, very modern decor to them. This is our entry level, our Emerald staterooms located on the lower deck. You'll see the picture window there. That's about shoulder height. But again, lots of storage space. And of course, the best thing is that you're going to be unpacking once and tucking that suitcase under your bed for the entire trip, which is a fantastic thing about river cruising. This is our most popular choice, is our Panorama balcony suite. So of course, as you can see, floor to ceiling windows giving you those spectacular views. With a touch of a button, that top window will glide down, allowing the beautiful fresh air to come in. But again, beautiful view. And again, you can enjoy it all types of weather, all types of year. You'll have your own personal safe. There is a golf umbrella in there in the wardrobe, walking sticks, but lots of drawer space there as well. So again, really wonderful area there. If you want to upgrade a little bit, this is the grand balcony suite. It has a glass divider, so you can enclose off the balcony there and have that separate from the bedroom area. And then we have our owner's 1-bedroom suite. So really nice spacious area there, separate seating area You've got the balcony as well. You've got a really nice spacious walk-in wardrobe. So again, a lot of choices depending on your traveling preferences. So of course the Blows and Stewart travel team can certainly help you find the accommodation that suits you best. So here I am in front of the Emerald Liberté. So our beautiful ship, 132 passengers. So a really nice intimate size ship that we have sailing in the south of France, and absolutely beautiful, beautiful hardware. And of course, inside you saw as well. This is the itinerary. So it's a great 7-night, 8-day sailing from Lyon to Arles. So how this itinerary works is you will arrive into Lyon, which is an absolutely beautiful city, lots to see there. We'll sail north on the Saône River up to Chalon-sur-Saône. And that's where the Saône River is no longer navigable. So that's why it stops there. So we'll have a wonderful excursion to Beaune, which I'll talk about here in a moment. Then we'll sail south. So then we'll come sail back south. We'll stop again at Lyon and then continue on further south into the Provence region. So that's just the itinerary map to share with. And I've got my pictures here. This is a beautiful picture of wisteria that's growing in Chalon-sur-Saône. So we had a beautiful town there, a lot of history, of course. We took a motor coach from Chalon-sur-Saône up to Beaune. Beaune is a beautiful small town, but it's kind of a more upscale type of town. But along the way, we took the scenic route. So it was nice because we kind of went through the countryside. So we were seeing some of the fields there along the way, but also, you know, there's so many little private vineyards, which are really neat to see along the way. So about a 45-minute drive up to Beaune. And then we had our tour guide met us there, and we had a really nice guided tour of this beautiful town. Of course, the highlight in Beaune is the hospices that you can see here. Again, it was built for the poor. So it's got a lot of history, a lot of neat, interesting information. The tour guide, you'll go inside the hospices there, but you can see the glazed tiled roofs, which are just immaculate, just absolutely beautiful design to it. But again, really beautiful, definitely a highlight in this area that you'll see. After the tour, then we had some free time in Beaune that we could, you know, enjoy a latte at one of the many cafes, do a little shopping there, but absolutely a great day. Then the next day, we came back to Lyon, and another beautiful city. Lyon is kind of known as the gourmet capital of Europe. So many Michelin star rated restaurants that can be found here. Our included excursion was by motor coach, and it took us to the what you can see here, the Basilica Notre Dame du Fouvier. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Beautiful, like massive structure. So we got to have a tour of that inside. And then the picture on the left there is just outside of the Basilica. And there's a great viewing spot there overlooking the entire city of Lyon. That gives you just beautiful views. So then we went by motor coach. We went to the old town, so down into Old Lyon, and then we had a walking tour with our tour guide. And the old town is just incredible. All the cobblestone streets, very few cars right in the inner core, but our tour guide took us kind of a behind the scenes. There's unique symbols outside of some of the doors. Like, it's amazing all the doors that you see as you're walking along the town, and some of the doors, there's a certain type of a sign that allows you to open and you can go in, and it's these residential homes. So you can kind of see how where the locals live, and it's like a whole other world. So that was kind of really neat, unique kind of, I felt like we were going behind the scenes there. But very, very interesting town. Of course, the window shopping, all the bakeries and there just do their windows up to the nines. And a famous thing in Lyon is the praline brioche that you can see in the middle there. That's kind of a Lyon specialty. And of course, the macaroons down at the bottom. But I'll tell you, if you start dieting now, because the food over there is absolutely incredible. So Lyon was amazing. I'm just going to go back. We had a full day there. So after our included tour, we had the option of either going back on the motor coach to the ship for lunch, or guests could stay in the old town and wander around themselves. And I know many of the guests stayed because there's so many restaurants and little patios and that there. So I know many stayed to kind of enjoy lunch in the old town. And then it was about a 45-minute walk, very easy walk back to the ship. So many enjoyed doing that. What I did was I took a bike out in the afternoon in Lyon. So many very bike friendly city. So you can see on the right hand side there, I took a bike down to the confluence, which is where the rivers meet. So behind me, you can see it's where the Rhône River, it meets up with the Saône River. So it's the confluence there in Lyon. So kind of a unique little spot there. But then I continued on biking around the city there. And again, just very bike friendly city. So a great way to spend the afternoon. Other guests, there was an optional Discover More tour that some guests took to Perouge, which is a little village outside of Lyon. So again, a lot of different options depending on what your preference and what you're looking to do on these itineraries. Later on in the afternoon on board, because Lyon is also a lot of history for silk making, we had an artist that came on board that kind of went through silk making. So she did a silk presentation on board, which was also quite unique. So again, no shortage of activity going on. So the next day, we sailed a little bit further south and stopped at Tournon, another really picturesque village right along the Rhône River. One side, you've got the village of Tournon, and on the other side, you have Tain-l'Hermitage. So you can see in the top left, the hillside there, that's the Tain-l'Hermitage winery. So again, the option of, you had the included excursion, a little walking tour of the town of Tournon. But what I did was one of our Emerald Active excursions, and I did the guided hike in the vineyards. So in the top left picture, that's the group I was with. So we were crossing the bridge over the Rhône River to the other side, to Tain-l'Hermitage. And then in the top right picture there, so we started doing our hike up the vineyards because it did go up. So it was kind of nice when the tour guide stopped so we could kind of catch our breath. But then she had a whole commentary and was going, talking about the wine production in the region and all of the, uniqueness of Tain-l'Hermitage vineyards. Highest land price in France, 1 million euros per hectares. Crazy. So, definitely they not a cheap wine either. But again, it's the real estate there for land is quite pricey. So great walk. And then on the bottom left, you can see another picture there when we got up to kind of the top, gave a great overview of the Rhône River and both towns below. So it was nice. I'm certainly no athlete, but again, we had stops along the way. So, it was a really enjoyable way to experience and the beautiful views there. Best part is coming down, very relaxing, nice kind of moderate slope. But we ended up going into the town of Tain-l'Hermitage, which has the Valrhona chocolate factory. So we stopped at the chocolate factory, got some great samples, and could do some shopping as well. And that's the picture in the bottom, in the middle on the bottom there. They've got all these categories of chocolates there. So definitely a great reward at the end of that hike. In the afternoon on board, we had some free time. So again, I went out in the afternoon and kind of wandered around the Tournon side of the village and just kind of walked around. And then later on in the afternoon, we brought on one of our Emerald Plus experiences was a wine tasting on board. So we brought on local wine experts from L'Hermitage on board, and those 3 bottles there in the bottom right, we had samplings of those, and she went through all the characteristics of the wine, and you know, she had maps up on the screen just talking about the different wine regions in France. So that was really interesting, you know, it just kind of tied in the whole day. So that was fantastic. The next day, day 5, we were in Vivier, another favorite. And the gentleman on the left was our fabulous tour guide, Pierre. Pierre lives in Vivier and his family grew up in the town. So he was an absolute character, but absolutely fantastic guide. And Vivier, very small medieval town. As you can see, the buildings there in the middle, like there's stone structures holding up the building next to it. Absolutely incredible how everything is built. And then in the bottom right there, that's kind of the main, from the ship, that was basically the road walking into the little town of Vivier. So a very short walk, you can kind of see the car at the end of that lane there. That is the little town there. So really short walk, but Pierre was so insightful, a lot of stories. And again, with his family, you know, he pointed out his childhood home right in the village there. So absolutely fabulous day exploring the medieval town, and there's a cathedral there as well that we got to go into. In the afternoon, we were docked there all day. So there was an optional Discover More excursion. It was a fishing class on the Rhône. But then others like myself, I just stayed and went back into the medieval town there and just walked through, because it's just absolutely fascinating to see all the buildings there. But again, after a few busy days of Lyon and Tournon and Chalon-sur-Saône, having this day at Vivier with that afternoon free was also really nice, because you could kind of just relax, you know, and slow the pace down, catch your breath a bit. So really nice pace into the itinerary, having that time. And then day 6, we are in Avignon. Definitely a beautiful city. This picture, a friend of mine that sailed with me, she took from the gardens in Avignon. So this is a picture in April. Absolutely beautiful there. Of course, the bridge. The Avignon, the city is all walled. So on the left-hand side, you can see the wall that surrounds the whole city of Avignon. And our ship was docked less than a 10-minute walk. And you're walking right into the city. And right inside the wall there is a big city. So it's really neat, kind of what behind the wall there. So we had a great guided tour of Avignon, of all the sites there. Of course, on the right is the Pope's Palace. That's absolutely massive when you really get up close to it. Just incredible, the architecture in the city. So we had a really great tour around the city. And then once again, at the end of it, we had the option of going back with the tour guide to the ship for lunch, or, we could extend our time in Avignon because we were docked here until the evening. So it was great because there's certainly a lot to do, great opportunity for doing some shopping. I stayed for lunch on one of the patios there and had my steak frites, local, specialty. So again, really great day there in Avignon. Alternatively to the included excursion, our walking tour in the morning was an Emerald Active a canoeing excursion in Avignon. So that was another option that some of the guests did instead of doing the walking tour, was the canoeing in Avignon. So again, lots of choices depending on what you want to do there. There was also a Discover More excursion to the Pont du Gard. So that was going on in the afternoon on our day in Avignon. So again, the choice is yours, however you'd like to do it. In the evening, we had a real special treat. This was another Emerald Plus activity. This is Chef Fabien Morial. So he's a famous top chef in France. So he came on board and he prepared a Provençal dinner for all of our guests, which was an absolute highlight. So every evening in the lounge, the cruise director, the chef would come up and talk about what was being served for dinner. So Chef Morial came for our port talk there and talked about what he was preparing for our dinner. And again, he has a local bakery. So they baked the bread at the local bakery to bring on board. And for our dessert, it's his grandmother's recipe. It was just a really wonderful evening. On the right was our appetizer, which I can't even tell you how many different flavors was just in that one dish. It was absolutely fantastic. One of my colleagues that was sailing with me had to have two. It was so good. So the whole dinner was fabulous, and chef came around and talked to each table as well, which is a really nice way to spend the evening. So a really great traditional Provençal dinner to end our day in Avignon. And then, it just seemed like every day just kept getting better and better and better. And then our next day was in Arles. So right in the south of France, you feel like you're in Rome. So a lot of Roman history here. But absolutely great day. So of course, the highlight, we had a nice walking tour here. We had another fabulous tour guide, always very entertaining, lots of stories to share. But what I didn't realize was that we got to go inside the arena at Arles. So you can see these are all my pictures that I took, but it was just absolutely amazing to walk inside just how they built this back, in the 14th century is just mind-boggling. So great highlight there, going to visit the arena and the little town. It's a nice little small town there as well. So you could do some shopping, enjoy a cappuccino on a patio, and again, very close to the ship. Of course, also a lot of history with Van Gogh there. So this was the backdrop of the inspiration for over 200 of his paintings. So again, these are, definitely for any Van Gogh fans, you'll recognize some of these areas here in some of his paintings. So a really great town, and another fabulous day in the south of France. So that wraps up my tour. I wish I want to come with you guys now and come back again. But as I said, so much to see and do. The weather, as you can see in the pictures, was fabulous. you know, and it was just a really wonderful destination where you can see and do as much as you want, or, you know, as little as you want, and can enjoy the ship at the same time. So definitely hope those of you watching here can join the Blows and Stewart travel team next year. You're going to have an absolutely fantastic time. And I'll turn it back to BST team.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tracy. Great, great photos, by the way. Very, very nice. Dana's going to just chat a little bit about our pre and post options too, because not only do we have the great cruise for a week, we've got some excellent opportunities to extend your stay.
Great, thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? Turn that down. Let me just turn down my other speaker here. So we do have, Tracy, can you hear me? Everyone saying yes? Yeah, okay. So we have a pre and post cruise option for the cruise. Some of you, those of you who have already booked with us, we have lots of people doing both. We have lots of people doing one or the other. And those of you that are interested in more information on them, we can obviously send those to you. So we are doing a 2-night pre in Lyon. And I know that might seem a little confusing to you because of the way that the itinerary goes. But as we all know, when we're traveling to Europe, that very first day, by the time you get to the hotel, you get checked in, it's around lunchtime, everybody's exhausted by the time change. So essentially, besides dinner, that whole first day is completely a write-off. So that was why we decided to do the 2 nights in Lyon. Also, that is the closest, largest airport. So it seems a little bit easier for us to get in and out of Lyon. So the 2 nights in Lyon also comes with a hop-on, hop-off, which really gives you the capability of doing Lyon the way you want to. So you've got a 2-day hop-on, hop-off. You can go all over the city, and then honestly kind of scout it out and see when we come back, when we're on the ship on day 2, you can come back and maybe see some things that you wanted to go back and see. I know that there's a walking tour, as Tracy mentioned, that's included when you come back to Lyon. Lyon is really a lovely, lovely village, lots to see and do. So, you know, please don't think that you're going to get tired of Lyon. You're not. It is phenomenal. You could probably stay there a week and not even see it all. But we really love the option of this one because you get the hop on, hop off. So you can do it your way, do Lyon your way on your time. So it's phenomenal. So 2 nights pre there, and then obviously we get on board the ship. And then when we get off the ship at the end, you can either choose to fly home at that time, or we are offering as well a 2-night in Nice with a guided walking tour. We're staying at a phenomenal hotel right in the 2 blocks from the old city center of Nice and right along the boardwalk overlooking the ocean. It's Le Méridien Nice. It's a great property in a phenomenal location to all the markets, the old city. Definitely, it is very much a walking city. After a week on board the ship where we're doing lots of walking, you're going to end up doing even more walking in Nice. But so many cafes and whatnot. So if you want to kind of scale it back a little bit when you get to Nice, you've got the ocean, you've got the beach, which is a little rocky, but it's really lovely. And lots of wandering around and visiting different cafes and restaurants and seeing the market areas. The market in Nice is so interesting because one day it's all products and fruits and things from the farmers. The next day it's all flowers. The next day it's all antiques. So it's so unique. You can literally go to the market every day and experience a totally different market, essentially. So as I mentioned, 2 nights pre-Lyon, 2 nights post-Nice, and I think both will be really added lovely touches to go along with the cruise. Rob, back to you.
Let me unmute. Yes, thank you very much. And for those of you that are booked on the cruise, you probably already know that Dana and I are co-hosting this cruise with our spouses. And
no, okay. You know, so I see there's some questions and answers in the chat. Tracy, do you see those there? Here, let me look. Jim is wondering, would there be tandem bikes available for the guided cycling tours?
No, not the bikes that we have are all single bikes. Yeah.
Or do we just borrow them? Do you see the questions and answers?
So when we have we have bikes on board with us. So when we do our guided bike tours, there are bikes that we use. So we don't have any tandem bikes on board with us. If that makes sense.
And
Tracy,
Karen says Tracy is an excellent presenter. Thank you so much. Well done, Tracy. Rob, are you there still?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Okay, thanks. Yeah, Tracy, just a quick question about the onboard staff, the activities folks. So if you wanted, they'll help you with kind of an itinerary for a walking tour or something like that. Can you give a little expansion on that?
Yeah, so our cruise director, they know these towns inside and out. They've been there so many times. So absolutely, if you're looking for some advice, or also our activity manager. So they're there as well as a resource if you're looking to kind of go somewhere. Definitely, they love to talk and give their ideas and suggestions of where to go, or if you're looking for a certain type of food or a restaurant, they've got tons of suggestions as well. So, yeah.
Very good. And Tracy, also, I know April's a long way away, but what are the current protocols on the ship as far as, you know, the COVID, etc.?
Yeah. So when I sailed just last month, so the protocols to sail with Emerald is that you need to be fully vaccinated. So you have to show proof of vaccination to board. The protocols to, so basically that's really it for sailing with us. We're just following the guidelines of whatever country that you're arriving into, whatever that. So when I arrived into France, they didn't require any testing or anything like that. So it was very quick, easy. I just uploaded my vaccine certificate on the airline's app. And that's all I showed. So it was very seamless and easy to navigate and board. So.
And Tracy, in the towns, if you were entering shops, restaurants, were you asked for vaccine proof?
No. No, not at all. And, you know, masks were, so on board, currently we were wearing masks, or it's highly recommended to wear masks as you're walking from your stateroom to the lounge. But again, you know, everything is continuing to evolve as well. So, but you know, it was great to travel. And I sailed last year in Portugal. So just in five months, just seeing how much easier it was to travel and the less restrictions as well. So that was all positive signs.
Oh, Dana, you're muted.
Rob, do you want to check the other? There's about 4 other questions in there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. We've got a couple of questions here. Next question is, this is an excellent area for cuisine, which Tracy had noted. So does the boat stock local foods at each port?
I don't know about each port, but I know I did see some of the culinary team especially in Lyon. I saw them while I was out just walking around, come back with local produce. So they definitely go off and buy some local produce throughout the cruise. Again, so many markets there. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Super. Another question was, is the ship only in motion during the evenings? I was wondering how much scenery you see while you're underway.
So we sailed mostly in the evenings on this itinerary, just because, again, so much to do in the ports that we're at. And the ports are also closer together in the south of France. So yeah, so we basically did evening sailings on this itinerary. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I know in the river cruise that I did in northern France, in Normandy, we had some daytime move to sailing, but the towns were maybe a little bit further apart and whatnot. So it depends on the itinerary.
Yeah.
And another question, a couple more questions. Can you explain the difference between Scenic and Emerald as far as service levels go?
So with Scenic, again, a little bit more inclusions. That's our luxury brand, where you'll have truly all-inclusive. You'll have several choices of excursions at every port, multiple dining venues. But again, a lot of depends on your traveling preferences. Two great products for two different guests.
Great. Now, just a note, on a standard Emerald, you get your beverages with your lunch and dinner. On our charter, you get the beverage package throughout. So we've included it in our pricing. So it's making it even more inclusive than a normal Emerald cruise, right? So keep that in mind. A couple more questions. In the post 2-day walking tour, how long is the walking tour? Dana, would you know the answer to that question?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours.
Okay, excellent.
And then I just see a question too about the flights. So for those of you that booked on the trip already, I've already been in touch with Emerald's air department, and I'm waiting, and we'll have them probably mid next week. So we're almost there with the flights.
If anybody has any other questions, you're welcome to email info@bstvacations.ca anytime, and we will respond to you as quickly as we possibly can. We can still be on here for a couple more minutes on this presentation, but we don't want to keep you from refreshing your cocktail on this nice warm night. Yeah, please give us a call if there's any questions. We do have some space still available on our charter. So if you have friends or family that want to join you, now that travel is really opening up and becoming far easier, despite what you hear on the news about Pearson Airport, it's not that bad everywhere, and it's going to get better. And things are just getting a lot easier now with the mandates lifted as far as testing. No testing required to return to Canada now. But I will suggest that everyone just pull your passport out and have a quick look at it and make sure it's valid, because that is the big roadblock right now, is the backlog at the passport office. So even if you're not planning on traveling with us on this trip, maybe you want to go away at Christmas time, now's the time to be looking at that passport, because it's difficult. And then, of course, one thing else we will talk about when you talk to your advisor about this cruise, any travel, is the importance of trip cancellation, interruption, and medical insurance when you're leaving Ontario. So we will review all of those requirements with everybody. Every individual is a different premium depending on your age, etc., and which category of cabin and the cost of the trip. So we will quote that individually to you at that time and explain how you can cover yourself, or hopefully you don't have to use it, but we want to make sure that you have the best coverage available. Scott, have you got any last words?
Well, Tracy, absolutely phenomenal job. And you photographer, you. Look at you, eh?
I'm really a point and shoot kind of girl. It's the scenery. I can't take credit for it. It's the scenery in the south of France.
Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy the most about river cruising with Emerald, and I have done it, is that when you are on the river, you really feel like you're part of that community and part of all of the different villages and areas that you get to visit. And I know the comment in there about the local cuisine and such like that. One of the things, I know, Tracy, you were being cautious, but something to remember on a river cruise is that a river cruise has very little pantry or storage for foods and beverages, so that when they do stop in the different cities and villages along the way, you're always getting different varieties of wines and the foods that are custom to those regions. And that's one of the things I enjoy the most out of river cruising. And I guess the only other thing I'd love to mention is this departure in April. I'm so glad these were your pictures, because I mean, my God, people are in shorts and t-shirts and the weather looked absolutely phenomenal. So I don't want anybody to think that, you're going to Europe in April and it's going to be freezing cold. So that was awesome to be able to see. And then the last thing I just want to make comment is BST Vacations and the Blows family and Stewart family combined, we're over 123 years in family business and family travel. And one of the things that has allowed us to be able to do the sorts of things that we do, because we aren't your regular retailer. We charter planes and we charter boats and we charter, entire tented camps in Africa. The biggest thing I just want to let you know is BST Vacations has chartered this entire ship. Every cabin is ours and ours for the selling. So therefore, there's a huge sense of camaraderie and ability to visit with people that may be either in the next city beside you, or you may run into somebody that you haven't seen for 25 years. And it's wonderful. When we did this pre-COVID, that was one of the standouts, was all the friendships that were rekindled because they hadn't seen each other since maybe high school, or they knew friends of friends of friends. So that'd be the last thing. I do see there's a few more questions in there. If Rob, you or Dana want to take those, and thank you everybody for joining us. This was brilliant. I loved it.
Great, thanks, Scott. Thank you. There are a couple of other questions we'll tackle here. So the first question was, what are the dates? So the dates, the ship sails April 1st, 2023 for a week. So, and then of course, if you want to do the pre-cruise, you're going to go a couple of days early. If you want to stay longer, you can stay longer. Airfare is included in economy. And now there was another comment here, be able to end our trip by going through Amsterdam and then returning from Canada there. Yes, we can accommodate that. That shouldn't be an issue. We would just need to know your dates and or kind of, if you want to do that, how many nights you want to spend in Amsterdam at the end. That's fine. We should be able to handle that. And I see your email there, so we can certainly send you that information. As far as costing goes, I mean, there's a number of different costs depending on which category of accommodation you'd like on the ship. I could certainly happy to, Robert, email you the brochure, but it is available at our website as well. But I can certainly send you the quick PDF version, and you can have a quick look, and then we can advise you on the pre and post package costs as well. I don't know if there's any other questions at the moment. I don't know. I think we're good. Yeah, okay. I will send that brochure out tonight before I go home, Robert, and just so you have it in your email. So thank you, Tracy. Thank you to everyone who took the time to join us tonight. We're 8 o'clock, so you can go watch the hockey game. That's important. Or the Blue Jays, whatever your flavor. But I'm pretty excited about the hockey game tonight. So have a great night, and we look forward to hosting you on this cruise. If there's any questions, please reach out to any of us on this call, or like I said, call any of our offices. The phone numbers are on the website, or info@bstvacations.ca, and we will respond as quickly as we can. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Good night.